Hello people and welcome to watch yet another Carcassonne Champions League league stage match. This is the day 6, so Saturday of the second week. So far we of course have players at only max 2 wins out of 2 matches. And less coincidentally, that is also the same case for today's players, Matej Tabak of Slovakia, playing under the nick Matej11, and then his Vietnamese opponent, portgard, who is basically, I guess, the support beam of Vietnam, taking his responsibilities as the Vietnamese captain, I believe, so far on 2 years that they have been participating in the team tournaments, onto the international team tournaments, and both of which are starting off or have started off with a loss on the first week. Portgard against his Lithuanian counterpart Kroikul, and Matej has taken an early loss against Mikhail Solotukin of RCP, and Mikhail, who now stands at the moment at 2 wins of 2 matches at 0 games lost. Now Matej is going to be the favorite, at least in my eyes, or is he? I think he will, purely because of his experience over the years. He has over 13,000 games of experience thus far, and that is merely on BGA. Now he has been also very active on the offline tournaments, and he has way over a decade of experience from there, namely getting 4 bronze medal places in the in-person World Championships from the early years. I think ranging from somewhere between 2009 to maybe 2015, I want to say, because they are not. They haven't been all in a row, but rather in like 4 or in between like 5 to 6 to 8 years maybe of like an a time window that he's had the success, and also has, I believe, multiple fourth places as well. So basically, a very good record for him to get to the semi-finals in the offline championships. But now we're talking online, and this, I think, is not really the home field of Matej Tabak. Hello, Vika. Nice to see you here. So we are going to be certainly hoping for no BGA interference, as we have had that also today. Just about like half an hour ago or an hour ago, there was a rather large cut, or a cut in the servers. So let's hope we can have an uninterrupted match. Let's also hope that portgard is online. That would be very cool, and kind of required to start. To start the the match. Okay, he has finished his Arc Nova, so how about how about switching to your tournament match? Neither of these players has yet broken the master rank, so the 700 elo threshold. I believe for Mate it's at about 650 of his top rating, and that is where he has been going for for quite a long time. Usually rated above 550, 650, somewhere in that range. And portgard has I guess um, slightly more of a fluctuant Based on that, his top rating being somewhere slightly below 700, maybe like 680 or so. And, well, presumably portgard will be the first master of Vietnam at, at some point of his career. But today, that's not going to happen. Rated at a solid 599. Best of 3 match, of course, as all league stage matches are. And whilst these players are going to be starting their match at some point, we shall actually have a little look-see at the CCL format. So first of all, we have the Earth League and the Space League, so 30 player pools each, from which after 5 weeks of play, the top 4 from each group will be going directly to the round of 16, and the places 5 to 12 will be getting to the playoffs round 1, which essentially is the round of 24. So basically, the top 12 of each group will get to go to the playoffs, and 18 from both groups are going to be eliminated after the 5 weeks of play in the league stage. Now, this is a slightly different format than on the previous years, but not all by that much. Well, it's actually, I will handle my turn-based game here. So this is the King of Carcassonne World Championships games. Let's go, I guess, over here, right? Because we want to avoid, or I want to avoid making a large field, and we want to restrict the city cap. We could do this way as well. Could go here, actually, would be pretty nice, but I think we just go here. I think that's solid enough. And we shall return. Yeah, it doesn't look like these players are particularly strict on their on their timing. I want to see the recent activity. Like, have they set up a tournament? Yes, they have. Oh, in 15 minutes. Okay, then. That is a bit of a shame. Scheduling it at 19 and then setting up a tournament at like 1920 is a bit sus, if you ask me. But in the meanwhile, then let's do some stuff, and let's actually visit this site, which I haven't actually visited in a long time. I think it's somewhere like written like this. It is. And let's do some puzzles then, because seemingly these players are gonna be taking their sweet ass time. See collection 0. I think I have. Yeah, this is the only one. You can see how active I am on this website. But now is the is a nice time to start problems. That's what we want to use. And let's actually at this moment make sure that you can see the drawings. Yes, you can. So, what's this filter? Okay. So better monastery. I think this is the latest. And can we actually like see stuff? We can do it like this. So we have a regular monastery in our hand, and so the question really is like where should we place the monastery to, because there are multiple monastery spots we have here, here, and here. Um, now the meeple count doesn't really matter because we both have 5 meeples in hand. And well, at least the intuitive thought is to just go over here, right? Because then it connects us to the 6-point field from our 9-point from our 0-point field. Um, yeah, I don't actually even know why this is a problem here, because like to me it seems just like every time we just go here with the meeple, of course. Yeah, red is Oh, right, right. That's why that's why it is a problem. Okay, that's why it's a problem. Okay, thank you, Vika. So red is of course the opponent. You can see how accustomed I am to being green and just I don't know, just racing through. Okay, so red is the opponent, but I don't think it really changes anything here. I think we would still go over here just because like blocking this square right here is unlikely to happen. There are still 5 other monasteries that red can draw, and like this 6-point field isn't like particularly like dangerous. Sure, like in the best case scenario, I guess, then we keep a 6-point field and this guy does I don't know whatever. Yeah, that is exactly right. So 5 more monasteries remaining anyways. So I don't think it really changes our position um, again because this square is so unlikely to get like locked anyways. Um, I'm gonna keep refreshing these players just in case they would start like I don't know a custom table or something before 1920, but I don't think they do. Um, oh, also I wanna check like with this format here, are my drawings at the correct spot? They are slightly off, but it's not a big deal. Um, I feel like the puzzle is a trick question and somewhere else is better. I mean, it could be. That's why it is listed as a puzzle. I mean, maybe the original play was like they went somewhere else and somehow successfully managed to like restrict this guy into being 0 points at the end of the game, and this square being somehow some way blocked or something. But I don't think adding all those extra tiles is going to be worth it. I think I will be just would be going over here. Um, because then we have a nice monastery spot as well, right? Like to the right, we would have a monastery spot here as well, like at the top here, but then we are gonna be getting somewhat restricted very easily. So I think this is just gonna be the move with a meeple, of course, and um, should we go here and we just place the like just push the votes, right? Let's do some commenting here. So the reasoning being uh, this monastery spot is very unlikely to get blocked at any point if we if we don't go there now, and it sets us to stack future monasteries without running the risk of getting blocked too easily. The field connection doesn't really matter, since it is the beginning stage of the game and the field is still small. That looks about right. Okay, so actually we might be the only ones who have voted on it so far, and I think that is the case. So yeah, it shows correctly now. Okay, still a couple of minutes time before the actual match starts, so how do we get to a second puzzle? I guess we just go here again. No? And let's do the other one as well. So we have a Rotorito in our hand, and okay, well, I can't really be asked to try and figure out the remaining tiles, so let's cheat. So we have 3 city caps, we have 3 straight roads, which seems quite important, and we have an extender, and the point difference is yellow is at +5, so we are at +5. And we both have 1 meeple in hand. So how do we secure stuff? So what's the threat, first and foremost? Well, the threat is our opponent finishing the city here. And can we do anything about it? Not really. We cannot restrict we can't restrict the city in a way that it would be meaningful. We can only pray to God that our opponent doesn't get any of the city tiles to finish the city or continue the city, and then we can block the city with any tile. So that's not the move, but what else is there remaining? How's the field looking? It's an equal field with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 points, 21 points. And we can't attack it from here. We can't attack it actually from anywhere. We have some ruins. We have this road right here. This city is dead, so that's no use to us. Yes, so the question really is like, how can we like maintain the best winning chances, given that we have literally the worst tile in hand to do anything about this city? Yeah, it's a very nice question, and also because we only have 1 meeple in hand, we could um, do this. Actually, why am I showing it like that? Because I can just click here. So we can do actually this, and I guess set up a field attack option. Like this is assuming that our opponent would have a city cap in hand, right? And then we would have a chance to get a straight road, and then this connection here would be unblockable, and we would have 3 connection tiles. On the other hand, this of course is going to like could easily backfire, because then actually what happens is our opponent can make a very meaningful move with any tile in their hand. They can go here themselves with a straight road, they can finish the city with a city cap, or they can just go here with the extender, or go here with the extender. Doesn't really feel like the right move. With and with +5, can we go here and pre-meeple the field? Not really, no. We are not that far ahead. Dun dun dun. Huh. I actually don't know what we should be doing here. Because I really don't like see anything useful to us. Because yeah, it's an option if we assume that our opponent gets a city cap. But what if our opponent just gets a straight road? I don't think this does really like help our winning chances. I think it just helps our opponent rather, because then he can again make a useful and threatening move with any tile. Do we just add a point over here and pray to God that our opponent gets like a straight road? Possibly. Possibly. Or just... No, actually we can't go here because this is not our ruin. Ha. Well, ain't this unfortunate. Um... Yeah, I really don't think that's the move. Well, let's see. Let's take a look if we see other moves. No, we don't. Portgard is actually offline, which doesn't really help. um, what? Okay, never mind the puzzle. Never mind the puzzle. Well, the answer is I have no clue what we should be doing. I can come up with options, but I don't think they would be really giving us any additional winning equity. I think we basically are just in a position to pray that our opponent doesn't get a city cap or the extender, and we just are able to block the city with like a straight road or with a city cap, and then um, run to the win with our +5. That's really all that I can come up with. Field invasion seems like the best move to me. Can be restricted to 1 remaining city cap with the right curve, but then the opponent um, has to risk us blocking their city. To 1 remaining city cap. Field invasion from where? because there weren't like curves remaining. There was only a dagger, and we couldn't even use that to connect like through our monasteries or anything because it was the wrong type of dagger. But anyways, so Matej Tabak as the starting player, as these guys have finally started. And also grabs the second set of 4 points and controls the city cap. So portgard really with not much else but having a road and the early field. Matej grabs a juicy monastery, and I want to say I'm a bit surprised that there wasn't a second meeple even coming from portgard, but I trust that there is going to be such soon enough, maybe now. Yeah, even though it's going to be advancing the monastery of Matej, then I still think this is a rather good move because it's difficult to block and the field has a lot of potential on it. Now the issue, of course, is that we have only one meeple and we have this kind of difficult, difficultly finishable city. And we could be going into a lot of issues with the meeple disadvantage or with the meeple minority long term. Starting tile for portgard. Now we're gonna be seeing whether portgard wants to go for like a huge field or something calm like this. So adds 1 point to the city, adds 1 point to the monastery, which is fine. And also gets a superb tile to continue that, whilst Matej continues to try and make more attacking platforms to the field. And it's going to be, portgard tried to make it a bit more difficult, and well, sort of succeeded, I guess, because he has successfully now has successfully denied the second meeple to the field from Matej. And now the field stands at 15 points, and it is almost impossible to attack to. 4-pointer loop roads sounds solid, and Matej keeps on doing what he has been doing. So even further tries to cause some issues to the field, cause some entry points to the field. And portgard with no meeples, I don't actually know why he did this. Because like, yeah, on the surface it's going to like give you some more time to maybe get out with the city, but like it's so easily restricted into a dagger first of all, and it still has so many blocking tiles that I think it would have been actually better to just go over here at one point, leave the road open, and have some more like variety, I guess, for tiles to be using over here with like a set of 3 Doritos or something. But Matej has now successfully, well, somewhat successfully, been able to cause a lot of potential field attacking platforms with one over here through a curve, one over here through a curve, one over here, and so it's just like at a point where like portgard cannot block all the entrances. What he can do is to try and prevent the city from getting completed. And I guess he could continue on that path by grabbing 2 points over here at the top and creating even more platforms to block or attack to the city. because it is now at 9 points and merely requires few tiles to actually finish. However, that is not in the intention of Matej clearly, and he is simply trying to create new cities and eventually try and grab another field meeple. Full block could be done by portgard, but does it need to do that? Are there any tiles to actually fit there as city caps? And the answer is that there are not. No starting tiles, there are no daggers, right? No daggers. Well, yeah, no daggers and no city crossroads. So nothing over here that would be like great for Matej. Um, but there was two road Doritos, which wouldn't have actually helped all that much because then Matej would have just been stuck over in this square waiting for another road Dorito. However, he could have, I guess, gone over here with the road Dorito and gone with a farmer, given that there were still plenty of regular curves in the deck. And he's going to try to do that. He's going to try to get himself another farmer to the field. And portgard now needs to decide where exactly is he going to try to get his third farmer in. And I think it would be great to go over here. Looks like a really terrific attacking spot to the field with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still one crossroad, or that's also fine. Sure. Could actually be even better. Maybe. Could be even better, but whoa, portgard didn't even care about blocking this connection to the field, just adding the 2 points. Curious decision. Now, however, he does get his third meeple to the field, so he's still in the lead and gets the final crossroad, and that should be a game. Because there will be no remaining crossroads in the deck. Matej is going to be stranded with the 0 point farmer. He will have a ruin and this short-ish road, but even with the road monastery there is just no possible way for portgard to lose this. Just not enough stuff in the deck, and not enough meeples in Matej's hand to score. And you can see by looking at the time here spent by Matej Tabak, you can see what he is known for. Much like Ervingal, then Matej is probably like the second fastest player online that there is, or maybe ever will be. Using only 2.5 minutes for to spend like 35 tiles is pretty immensely obscure. And it doesn't really seem to be even working for portgard because he still has like 7.5 remaining minutes. So portgard isn't like one of the slowest players out there. 2 point city for portgard, is that really the best that he can get? Well, it is actually. There isn't even a 3 point city, or a field to grab. So that is indeed the best move that he can do. And a couple additional points for Matej as well. But look at the field: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 27 points for the field. And well, the early nice tile run out for Matej was certainly nice, but unfortunately so, he didn't really have a great opportunity to ever lay down any additional farmers. So 0-1 a lead for the Vietnamese, and let's see if Matej is going to be calming down and maybe taking a couple extra minutes or seconds even to think in the second game, although I kind of doubt it because I think it's like against his very nature to use like more time than just a few minutes for the entire game. However, Matej does get to be the starting player again, and he does get to again occupy the first city. And portgard again starting off with a couple of inconsequential road tiles, starts to go for a city now and is looking to assumably go over here with a city plus a field tile and restrict the city to a starting tile, and again goes for an early field, but this field doesn't have as much potential as in the previous game, and this move right here, I believe, is a huge misstep by portgard. Now, not only because he's restricting his own meeple over here willingly on every move seemingly, which he gets away with immediately, but also because this triple city would have been the perfect tile to go over here with, and oh, Matej also just misses such a juicy opportunity for himself to go over here, I think, and to tie down the fates of this road, this city, and this city. So tie down two meeples of red to one meeple, and also restrict the potential um, availability, capability, just space on this field, like tremendously by making a ruin onto the right hand side uh, corner. Yeah, I think this is where like Matej's intuition is like really blocking himself, blocking his brains from being able to really see the best moves or the much better moves in the position. portgard with SD cap, and with only one meeple, he decides to go with the city continuation, which is understandable. Matej, in the meanwhile, has been able to severely restrict the city and the monasteries of both players down to a dagger, and despite all the tiles that both players got, somehow, some way, this city is finished, and portgard's position has just gotten immensely more difficult by two blue and not tying it down to anything. The city still somehow not being claimed is quite strange, but it is in Matej's interest to like slightly try and like build up the city slowly. The dagger is drawn by portgard, but he still needs the starting tile, which there only is one remaining, and he doesn't get really a good defense tile. Now he could go over here or try and make the indirect defense, which he does, but in doing so he does waive his rights to the 7-point move. And Matej just keeps getting just great tiles for himself and continues the road, and now starts this city slash ruin, also finishes the road immediately. So it's up on the scoreboard by 47-3. Do you realize 3 points for portgard and no meeples in hand, and he doesn't really have like 40 points banked. Like he has 9, another 9, and then maybe like 14 well 16. He has like 35 points banked, but that is of course reliant on being able to get the correct tiles, and so far he only really needs city tiles. Also his city meeple and road meeple have gotten blocked, and yeah, the tile sequences have proven to be rather rather not that let's say not that gentle for red, but I mean it's kind of like on him because red has had the possibility to not allow such a good setup for Matej as he has been now able to get, and this seems to be like a really like just a terribly short rundown um, of the Vietnamese experts. 64 to 16, and finally portgard finishes the monastery, but still no relief on the larger scale, and might even have to go over here for extension of the city. Doesn't do that, just extends the other city actually, which is a curious choice. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with still three city caps to go over here. Matej doesn't really, I mean, Matej doesn't just doesn't care, especially after this quad city that he got to be and was able to prevent the completion of the largest of the large city of Portgard. Are there even tiles to go here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's one road Dorito, but with the completion of the city, it doesn't really matter now, does it? With with three tiles remaining in the deck, 82 to 31 on the scoreboard, and with basically the same amount of points banked for Mate than Portgard also has. So Portgard is gonna be taking the biggest loss of his life, basically, over here, and yeah, also loses his 12 points from the field, because like yeah, sure, like he made the highest scoring move that he had available, and well, assuming that he knew the tiles remaining, although I wouldn't bank on it because his position was like so bad that like many players actually just don't care at this point. But let's assume that he knew the tiles and he was going for. He was just hoping to get the final remaining dagger for himself, instead of it falling into Mate's hands. And yeah, actually, Portgard lost 15 points here and allowed Mate to get 12 more, so 27, 29 points with the final tile even for Mate, and the scoreboard difference is gonna be like times two. Well, not that's not even enough. Like times two and some more, with 129 to 57, and this has to be one of the most crushing victories in a single game that I have seen in a while, especially in a competitive tournament game. 129 to 57, and really, like at no point did Portgard even seemingly have a chance at this game. Yeah, rough stuff for the Vietnamese experts, but um, for his fortunate for his fortune, the match isn't over. It's now 1-1, and we are going to be going into a decider. Unfortunately, I forgot to look at the timing on how much time it actually took for Matej and portgard in that game, but actually I'm gonna cheat. Matej less than 2.5 minutes and portgard 5.5 minutes spent for the second game, which yeah, tells pretty much all you need to know about the pace of these games. Matej, even the starting player in the third game, and this is why we need the alternating starting player turn, like being implemented into the PGA tournament. Matej doesn't even care about his city getting potentially just just blocked entirely, but fortunately for him, portgard doesn't get a blocking tile. Still doesn't get a blocking tile, and neither is Matej getting a saving tile or being worried about his city. But well, turns out to be, I guess, a correct hunch, if you want to call it that. Well, to me, it kind of seems like more so ignorance of your own features, but whatever. portgard also making a rather uh, poor um, move actually with the triple city with the road. I think a much better move would have been to just go over here, take the 2 points, and disrupt the road. Yeah, maybe the shield in the triple city is gonna be enough, or was enough for portgard to forego the instant quick points. Could be the case. However, he has been able to get himself a monastery, but hasn't really been able to make a good job at continuing the monastery, given that there were still 5 more of those in the deck, and instead of leaving himself with a very juicy monastery spot, he just added a city cap onto his opponent's field, and and facing towards the only missing square of the monastery being restricted. Yeah, I have to say that is an extremely poor move coming from the Vietnamese expert. And really, the situation isn't too great for him. Matej even threatening to merge the fields and make one large field, which I think it would be in portgard's interest to go over here and deny that, which is exactly what he does. However, he does make a 4-point road in the process, which is going to be claimed by Matej at some point, in all likelihood, if and likely when he lands on one of the 2 remaining field crossroads, though maybe not that likely, only a 75% chance, so 3 out of 4 cases. So maybe then it's justified without a meeple. portgard attacking the 6-point field of Matej, sure, I guess, which has some potential to grow into maybe a 9-pointer. And Matej simply doesn't care about giving a meeple back to red, but just makes the most threatening move, I guess, to like thinking of his city, and decides to go for the completion at whatever the cost is. Something that I definitely would not recommend, but Matej and his 2-second turns think differently. One of the 2 remaining field crossroads goes to portgard and should be just taking 3 points, I reckon. I guess he's just debating on whether to point the field side up or a road side up. And I am leaning towards the field side, actually, because it would be nice to not allow an easy road end for our opponent, and furthermore, Matej already needs a city plus field tile on his city at the top here. So making Matej need multiple of the same type of tiles would be would be handy for blue, let's say, for red. But given the thinking time for portgard, which seems to be a quite rare resource for him, at least based on his actions, he has some alternative ideas, or at least he has somewhat trouble deciding where to go to. I guess he could also be trying to think, is it worth to go here and just go for a restriction of the city, just to be able to maybe keep Matej out of meeples for longer? To which I would say no. Like, not with this tile. I think with this tile we just take the quick points home, and he does decide to do that. Matej finishes the city and gets his meeple back. Also now surpasses portgard in the points. And now has, well, actually not that many threats. What Matej is really looking for is road ends to get this meeple back and this meeple back. But he doesn't have that many of them available to him, with only one horse remaining in the deck and only one field crossroad and then one city crossroad. And I guess you can count one road monastery as well as a road end, but that's only going to be used as a road end if absolutely necessary. Matej just adding a 1 point to the monastery, trying to somehow thwart the features of red, which seem certainly enticing, with still 3 vanillas in the deck, from which Matej gets first one, and in response to that, portgard snatches one of the 2 remaining daggers that Matej is looking over here, but does get his city blocked. And actually, wait a second, I mean, I can understand this move, but like it's 7 points, sure, and it is going to allow then the potential unification of the second farmer here, but yeah, I don't really support the movement of letting this city die when there still were, I think, 3 field Doritos available. And then you could just make the same move here, but just later on, with a starting tile, with the city crossroad, with the remaining dagger. Yeah, not the priorities that I'm hoping for to see that I'm hoping to see from red, but at least his plan is successful. The meepling of this road is way too excessive, but I mean, if you feel confident, I guess sure. I wouldn't, because I think these meeple will have a lot of different use cases, like doing anything else but this, like maybe grabbing this ruin or a city here, maybe grabbing a road, or maybe going even for a further farmer. Matej, in the meanwhile, finds himself with a sort of a double ninja move, attacking this 12-point field. And let's actually see how many curvy tiles are there in the deck still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Still 4 curves out of 11 unknown tiles. So that's quite good odds actually. And Matej with his 7-point lead on the scoreboard, plus 8, plus 10. This is equal 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 1 -5, that's equal now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. +3, I believe, is Matej with equal meeples and a better chance of getting a meeple back. Well, actually, minus. Well, I don't know, wait, like plus. What did it say? +3, +1. Well, anyways, it's gonna be like very neck and neck. But this city here is going to potentially allow a really nice winning route for Matej for scoring quick points. And portgard in the meanwhile tries to go for a restriction on the other side, but misses the second side, which makes me question the efforts of going over here with the restriction. However, he goes for a third farmer for the 12-point move potentially. Does he have meeples? Does he have tiles to do that though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There is one curvy tile, I believe, or one regular curve, which now falls into Matej's hand and even gets the 6 points for the road. Well, there's a monastery for portgard, which certainly comes in clutch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I believe might have even been his final tile to connect. Matej still trying to go for the field, but I don't think he needed to do that. I think if Matej just focused on taking points, I think he would have a good winning shot. But this meeple could actually be detrimental to Matej. I think it could actually be a decisive factor on why he could potentially even lose this game. Although with the 6 points, with the 6-point road and with the 4-point city right here, and with the meeple to score even on his final turn, he might still win. But portgard needs to count whether he can afford to take 1 point here or whether he needs to block over here. So let's do a little quick calculations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no straight roads. There are no regular curves. There are no starting tiles. There are no daggers. And there are also no field crossroads. Oh, never mind. There are also no road monasteries, so I don't think there's anything to go here, which should be helpful for portgard. Now he can go. Oh yeah, of course. Here, take 3 points instead of 1 point. Sure, that's of course way better. Matej with the road Dorito, does he have enough points to not get bitten by the 0-point farmer? He's plus 19. That will surely help. But the field, it's 15 points. I don't think Matej has enough points. I don't think he has enough. 54, 56, 69. No, Matej doesn't have enough. It's a 15-point field, and look at this outcome. Matej didn't take the time to calculate his point lead that he had, and he's gonna pay for it dearly. Because Matej absolutely did not need to attack the field. Like all Matej needed to do was like to go over here, take a 3-point field with this guy, and he would have won. But instead he goes for just unnecessary attacks on the field because he doesn't seemingly because he seemingly just plays with intuition. He doesn't do like counting almost at all, or that's how it seems. And that's going to be a core miss and a core mistake for Matej, core weakness for Matej, shall I say even. And he takes the second loss actually of the league, whilst portgard goes into 1 loss and 1 win in the league stage. And well, here actually you can see that Portgard finally took some extra time, 11 whole minutes compared to his previous games, and actually the result looks to be immediately better. So really the same advice I'm gonna have to say, like against Matej and against Ervin Gala also, like just like let them play like however speedy they want, but just take your own time. Like just don't rush. You don't need to rush, because with the 1 or 2 second plays, there's bound to be mistakes from Matej, from Ervin. I mean, like there's just bound to be mistakes if you just go by intuition alone. Let's fix up the scoreboard with 1 and 2 for portgard, and I believe that's now um, what, like 3 and 2 in games for portgard. Well, let's say 2 and 3 to be more precise. So yeah, 2 and 3, and actually never mind, 3 and 3 for portgard. So both of these games have gone into a decider, and for Matej, it's rough, rough time with 1 and 4 in games and 0-2 in matches. It doesn't look like he's gonna have um, such a great time of climbing back. Now, if he wins his future matches all three like by 2-0, then he might still have a shot at qualifying to the playoffs. But he's gonna have difficult time. Let's actually take a little look see at the opponents. So against Elias Mochan on week 3, then against Tomislav Buhinicek on week 4, and well, look at this. I also forgot that I'm playing against the guy himself. Also on week 5. So, well, I have certainly a clear um, game path, let's say, against Matej. Like, I'm gonna take my sweet ass time. I don't even care if Matej is listening. I'm still gonna take my sweet ass time against him. Um, and also I wouldn't mind to have my revenge on him, because I very clearly remember my previous experience in 2024 CCL of my run of 16 encounter against Matej Tabak, which I lost 1-2 and was eliminated on his by his actions. So this season I will try to have my revenge. Against portgard, then we have Michal Soltukin on the next week. Then we have Mosopal of Hungary and Chris Akauchis of Latvia as the final week. So against Michael and Krishna, I think portgard is severely underdogged, and against Mosopal, then I think that's Ruben Cox's Bhakti, right? Then I think against him it could be a relatively equal game, although an equal match. Although seeing portgard's mistakes today, I really think he has still a lot to improve on. We still have one match to go later this evening. We have Chris Tucker from the UK facing Yi Liu of Australia at 2100 UTC. Now that will be certainly an interesting match, given that the the level of King Deaded is kind of jumping all over the place. Like, he has been a master, but he's also, I think, like rated like less than 500 quite regularly, I want to say. Yeah, like for example right now. So you can see his rating. It's well, it hasn't actually updated in BGA, but he has been above 700 like 3 or 4 months ago or so. So it's going to be interesting to see the chaos unfold. But that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for tuning in all the way until the end. And if you did enjoy this type of Carcassonne content and would like to see more of it, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing, by liking the stream, or simply by leaving a comment down in the comment section if you are watching this afterwards. I'll be seeing you again soon today with some more Carcassonne Champions League stage matches. Bye for now.